Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. I do what I do for you. I got a nice lesson from the book today. Ooh, I got something good. When I get excited like that, I gotta calm myself down. So work with me. Understand I'm excited about doing what I do for you. All right, let's go. Writism, 25 Rule Live by Storytelling. A story with a message. Put the message in the story for life. I give life lessons. Tuned in the receiver. We got a good thing going. Let's ride. Right Thinker's mission, yeah, that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right Thinker's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's the goal, but that's the mission for me. Your goal as the right thinker should be to know thyself. That's why I give you the information to do just that. So let's go. Know thyself is a question that's rhetorical, but you should have the answer for yourself. If not, tune into your board. That's what I do for you. Help you know you. Let's go. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you. Stay tuned. I got you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows, but knows not that they know. So long we know they know. But they're spiritually asleep. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know, bingo, is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know that self. And to my yacht, be true. Right thinkers, you know, boy, we're still working with the Anuian theology. Okay, so let's deal with the principle. Right thinkers, let's talk about the principle of creator and the nine divinities, aka the E9. That's just one aspect of creation story coming from the Anuian concept. That's what we're dealing with right now. There's three, but the Anuian is the one we deal with. They got Ra, which is Ra 10. We see the different names. That's why. Understand? Let's go. Based on the Anuian theology, as it presents in the ancient Egyptian pyramid texts, the writings on the wall, and other Kemetic scriptures, the order, nomenclature, and attributes of the ancient Egyptian divinities of creation may be viewed as follows. Well, this is a breakdown, and this is what it looks like, schematic wise. That's what it looks like. We're going to go from the top to the bottom. We're going to break them down as we go. Okay? That's a lesson in the creator and the principle of our creator and the nine deities. I'm going to break them down for you. These are my favorite. Now, starting with the Bircher. Remember, he represents what? The absolute, the eternal, the infinite one. This is from the Anuian concept. Again, Nebuchadnezzar, but in all aspects, Nebuchadnezzar is the all-encompassing God for all three different stories. So understand that. That won't change. Let's go. Now, he means the absolute, the eternal, infinite one in every aspect. That's the same thing. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, but we dealing with the Nebuchadnezzar is the king tops. Why? Because he encompassed every quality that God represents. That's why. Moving on. Now, from the Nebuchadnezzar, there's nothing. Coming down the bracket, it says time and space. We're dealing with actually time and space. What happens in time and space? What they tell you in the Bible. First, there was just, we tell you it was the noon. Nothing was going on. Bunch of potential. And then Ra, the voice of God, said, let there be what? Like Ra became the creator of himself, putting his signature as the sun in the sky, the all-seeing eye, sees all, enlightens all. That's the original Christ, the Savior. Why? Without the sun, we got nothing. So it's okay to worship the sun, but that ain't God. It's the Son of God. God put it there. Get back to the lesson. So I guess I can go all kind of ways, but let's try to get the lesson out. All right, let me go. Now, next one is after you had light, we got sun. That means the earth gonna have 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of darkness. Before that, it was all dark. So light came in and took half of darkness shine, so to speak. Another lesson there, but yeah, that's the classic. Good, evil, light, dark, ignorant, knowledge. It's always going to be that way. Why? That's what Maya represents. Balance. You got two brains, two hemispheres, not one. So understand that. And the one thing you do have is that pineal gland. That's God. Anything singular is God. So let me get this lesson. I'm about to go all on tangent. Sorry about that, but I'm teaching. So I'm trying to get information to you. Slow it down, calm it down, and give a lesson. Got you. Okay. Next is shoot. Shoot with that. Take a deep breath. That's shoot. You just inhale shoot, which is air, ether. Okay. Without that, there's no human existence. Again, sun gives us nourishment, light. Now we got air. We know that God is what? All conscious. So he's strategically putting everything in place to let you know this didn't happen by accident. Next one is tough newt. I told you in the last lesson how this all began, the creation story from the masturbation. Okay, that's another lesson. Now we're moving on. We passed that. Now we're going to break down the divinities and what they represent and why. Now you got moisture. Remember, shoot is air, breathable, dry air. Then the earth, 75% water, but only 1% is drinkable for us. That's not going to be good enough. So we need fresh water coming down from top. That's tough newt, moisture. Them two get together, bring it down. You got earth. That's represented by Gad. That's the guy with the duck on top of his head. Why? Because it was said that God laid an egg in the noon and Gad came out. That was the earth. That's the firmament. That's the story for one concept. Next one is his mate is who? Newt, which represents heaven. We call earth now by a female name. Okay, but originally it was the male aspect. Now, with heaven and earth was in a love embrace. Could not happen. Why? So what you got? You see a picture. You'll see a picture. There it is. Where you got shoe pushing up Newt. That's the sign of air coming between earth and heaven. And up between us but air. So shoe pushes Newt up. But the problem is that was a punishment because they was going against Ra's rule of doing the wild thing. And so when Shu separated them, Gad was still in full tilt. So his thing was still rock hard penis. The obelisk detector that we talked about, that represents Gad's penis. Did you know that? They say Osiris' penis because the story goes he got cut into 14 pieces. They found all 13. The penis got eaten. So it was a missing part. The first dildo was made by Aset for her husband. Nonetheless, get back to the story. But I got all kinds of stories. So in class, I just throw them out there. Right now, I just try to limit them. So let's go. But they're all stories. And they'll tell you, now these are all cosmic gods. Newt represents heaven. She's a lady with the starry decked on her, stars on her, the hole down here and the hole up here. She sucks in, she takes in sun when he goes in the set in the west and gives birth to him in the morning. Another story. So all good stories, okay? To get you to understand the concept. That's all it's about. The more you can understand the stories, the more you can get comprehension, you get better understanding. That's what it's about. Now we're dealing with human. The first 5 elements is elements: fire, earth, water, heaven, and earth. Okay? Now you're dealing with the spirit. When he did all of that, after doing all of that, he decided, let me check out my creation. So he came and put his spirit into human being. The first one, human deity, is Asar. He represents the soul, the spirit that's in human beings. Watch this. Then his wife, counterpart, sister, Aset, wisdom. Now these are children from earth and heaven. Soul, wisdom. Then you got my man, Set, which represents what? The ego. His mate is Neptat. She represents nature and mortality. Together, Neptat and Asat represents the 2 serpents, okay, the Kundalini serpents. That's them. They represent Mayate, but that's another lesson again. I got a whole bunch of them. So let me tell you now. Next one is they got Haru, which is the human perfected in the flesh. Self-mastery, aka right thinking masters. When you reach Nihas, when you become spiritually enlightened, when you know thyself, you become Haru in the flesh. That's the son of God, or the son of the God from we know it spiritually, metaphorically. You become the spirit that's in you. You know you and God are one and the same. It's called anointment, Christhood, whatever you want to call it. But that's what I want all right thinkers to reach that level for themselves. It's a beautiful thing. Moving on. Set. I like to talk about him. But why? Because a lot of people misinterpret him. And that's the problem. Big problem for a lot of us. You need to conquer your ego. A lot of us don't think we have an ego. A lot of us say, well, no. But yeah, anytime you don't worship a higher self, a higher power, you worshiping yourself. That's the ego. So that's what you identify with. Only way you can understand about the ego is to be taught, shown, and exercised who that is. The sign for the hieroglyphic sign for Set, the ego, is a man with a hatchet in his head. So I want you to understand, being Set is not a good thing. I know a guy who thinks it's good to be Set. That's what he portrays himself, and yeah, self-destructive. Another lesson. But in real life, a lot of us think being aggressive and successful at our con game makes us, no, you just a con. You're just good at the con. You ain't really good. But those who portray to be good, that's it. Okay, that's who he wants you to believe he's a good guy. Moving on. Now, they call it the mystical significance of the number in creation, which is what? 9. We're also going to talk about the number 7. Before we get there, let's talk about the number 7 right quick. Now, there is important mystical significance related to the number 9 within ancient Egyptian mystical philosophy, yeah, but the company of gods and goddesses of Ptah, Nun, Nunet, Nani, the men first and women second, and women gonna be a T on most of the women's last name will be a T. So you got Nun, Nunet, Hu, Huhet, Kuk, Kukat, Amun, and Amenet. All those are male and female deities conceptualized, a total of 8 in number, and with Ptah, the self-created one, makes 9. They add up to 9. Now, in the company of gods and goddesses of Ra, Ra-Tem, Shu, Tufnut, Geb, Nut, Set, Asar, Isis, Nephthys, and Haru-Ur, there is also a total of what? 9. That's the number. The number 9 is to be found in the very heart of what ancient Egyptian mythology. The cosmogony and cosmogony itself, what? Because the number 9 is the basis of creation. This is why the number 9, watch this, recurs in nature, in chemical and physics experiments. Creation unfolds into what? 9 relative aspects. You got 9 aspects of the character, and they are all rooted in what? And sustained by who? The supreme being. The first principle, this idea is mythologically expressed as what? The emergence from the primeval ocean and the eventually submergence back what? Into the ocean at what? The end of time. It says, thus creation is what? Circular movement of the spirit, wherein creation is continually emanated, created, dissolved, and what? Re-emanated again. So they say over time. Right now, God is asleep. We are part of his dreams, so we can just do what we want. When he wake up, everything goes back to where it was, back to the noon, back to the abyss, back to nothingness. And then it's going to regenerate again. That's what they're saying. Okay. Now, if the gods and goddesses of the Paute are what? Are assigned numbers, they do. Watch this, I'm going to give them to you. Their qualities explain the numerological aspects of creation. And these explain what? The cosmogony of creation, starting with the noon. Excuse me. Every aspect has a number going from 1 to 10. Watch this. Then the noon is that continue, is called infinity. I mean, it's generated, self-generated, will continue to go on its own. That's the new. That's what started everything. Potential. Chaos, though, but all controlled chaos. Why? Because until something happens, it's going to continue to do that. So when it started moving around, Ratem, he created himself out of the new. By what? Thinking himself into existence. That's the first number one. Number two, air. Shoot. Number three, moisture. Tough new. Number four, cat, earth. Fire, the sky. Starry decked heavens, new. Fellas, understand this. The man is always on the bottom. The ego of the man put him in the position where he got to be on top. Nope, that's just ego. Natural order thing, men on the bottom, women on the top. Why? Because she's got to move. Men gonna lay there in the settlement. So that's where you see Gab sitting back on earth, chilling, while Newt bent over and she's doing all the work. When Vishnu or Krishna or his girl Shakti, she's on top. Wherever you see there's tantric yoga, those positions, the women's all the way on top. Okay, men, get over the ego nonsense. Moving on. Now, when you get past those five elements, you get to the sixth element, the sixth concept, number six. Man, we carbon based. 6 electrons, 6 protons, 6 neutrons. All that beast, all that nonsense again. Now that's an esoteric hidden message that they really got wrong. Another lesson, but yeah, the 666 ain't the mark of the beast. It's the mark of the ego. You, the person who you think you are. Sorry about that, but yeah, that's the number. Number 7, I said, wisdom, intuitive knowledge. Number 8, there you go, your boy, Set. Now for some reason, 8 was my man. He liked the 8. Skate, don't be late. So we could donate. He had a rhyme and a rap for 8 that you would not believe. He would just go on and on about that 8. So 8 was his number. Now I know why. Because he was ego driven. I didn't have no idea about that. I love my dad. And I became ego driven because he was. I did what your father is, you are. Mostly. So understand that. So my first lesson was being egoistic. So when you get past that, you become a better person. My man never did. So he remained the same person. Egoistic, selfish, all those things that he took with him to the end. Moving on. Another lesson in life. I keep it real. 9. Neptet. She represents mortality. We all know that once we are born into this world, we are going to die. Metaphorically, physically, this body will not last forever. Spirit will, conscious will, if you connect the two, that's the idea. They have the falcon or the hawk as the spirit. Your head should be on that, meaning your conscious. You became one with your spirit. You became God-like while on earth in the flesh. That's the goal of all right thinking philosopher followers. That's my goal, to get you to understand that. You can strive to do that on your own time, in your own way. Trust me, it's possible. Moving on. All right. Ain't worried about that. Don't worry about that. Now, number 10 is, again, the 1 with the 0 become the 1 again. You and God, synonymous. You represent the 0. God is the 1. You absorb into him and y'all become 1 again. So that's Harut. That's the spirit in you. Wants to get back to his father, his maker. Okay, you're reincarnated in the spirit of God, in the essence of who you are, wants to get back to his maker. It's on loan. Your spirit is on loan. You don't own it, so you can't sell it. Why? It ain't yours. Conceptually, let's move on. All right, I'm enjoying this. The world, understand this, is like a dream. God is in a dream that what? Arises during sleep. Nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. You can't achieve nothing sleep except a dream. Please understand that. The dream seems to be what? Very real and abiding, meaning full. But watch this. When you wake up, you discover what? That it is a lot lesser value than what you believed previously when you was involved in it. Mentally, it's all between the ears. The dream was this, was an emanation from who? You. You can only conceive what's in your mind. We have memory, we have imagination. That's all you got to work with. So in the dream state, pretty much subconscious wakes up, and whatever's going on, unless you're in control, it's going to have its way with you. And watch this. The dream emanates from you, just like God's everything from him. It has what? No reality. Why? Because it's all mental. Unless what? Unless you dream it. It's all in your mind. Okay. We all had that dream where, right when the good stuff is going on, they wake you up. Ah, ah. You had a bunch of money. You had the pretty girl that you chose that you're about to do what you want to do. Those are things that's all mental. You wake up and you're like, again, if you don't think the brain, the mind controls the body, if you ever had a wet dream, that's the indicator that the mind is in control of the body. Placebo proved that the mind can heal the body. So understand that concept. Moving on, everything between the ears. Watch this. The dream is the realm of what? Numbers. And you are what? Infinity. You represent common denominator that's in dream. You are the fullness, which what? Gives rise to your dream. Every time you lay down and go to sleep, you go into that next realm, that other realms. Moving on. Now, when the multiple of nines, check this out. When the multiples of nine, or the number nine, are added, what happens? They all add up to nine. Also, every number that adds up to 9 is what? Also divisible by 9. Thus, 9 is the highest number. The creator, the supreme being, is in reality not part of the creation. In absolute terms, is not counted as one of the netherworld, but the supreme being is the transcendental principle engendering creation. That's what makes it go. So therefore, in mathematical terms, the supreme being, transcendental consciousness, i.e. infinity, has its own number sign. Okay. Noon is the infinite source with material of creation. And Ratem is what? The individualizing principle emerging from the noon. Noon and Ratem are what? Essentially aspects of the same supreme being. Again, creation is given value due to what? The presence of the self, who is what? The absolute reality, which sustains creation. Again, God. However, considering the supreme being as a number one, the principle of fulfillment, Haru then becomes what? Number 10. That's it. This is why the ancient Egyptian mystical philosophy, the number 10, watch this, is special to who? Haru, you. Thus, Haru signifies what? Fullness, completion, in what? In time and space, while here on earth. While Ra, what? Relates to fullness in the transcendenting time of space. This is the original teachings whereby, watch this, Hermetic, which is thought, philosophy, latest version of the Kemetic, ancient Egyptian mystical philosophy, and the even later, Christianity, they got some information derived what? The teachings of as above, so below, and I am, which is what? The Alpha and the Omega, respectively. Having discovered she taught Aket and your higher self as being what? One and the same, you have discovered all that there is to be known. You have achieved the number 9. That's knowing thyself. That's the lesson. I'm going to cut it there. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I need to, but I'm not. Let's go. Calm down. I got more information for you, so let's do this. This is called the sacred numbers of creation and their important subsets, meaning what they represent. Again, I'll give you the breakdown on the other page. This is them again. Okay. Let's go through this. We're going to talk about it again. Now we get into the left numbers corresponds to the what? The divinity of the Anuian theology. The right tree of life is the Anuian theology, which is they showing you Ra at the top. Number 1, he represents fire. Number 2, Shu. air. Number 3, Tefnut, water. Number 4, Geb again, earth. 5, we see is Nut represents heaven. Now you got a Sar, you got a Set, which is 7. 8 is again Set, the ego. 9 is Nephet, mortality. 10 again is Haru you master of self in the flesh. Let's go. The number 7, from the sacred numbers of the Paute, we are given the number 7. Why? The number 7 of the goddesses. Number 7 relates to what? The 7 aspects of what? Creation, wherein human life has its manifestations. Ra, watch this, has our 7 bars or soul of Ra. The number 7 related to what? The 7 psycho-spiritual energies, centers which sustain human life, aka the 7 realms of existence, as symbolized by the 7 Haru goddesses. Then you got the 7 notes in music, the 7 colors in rainbow, etc. And don't forget, at that time we had 7 visible planets. Again, all these things was done. There are what? Certain more notes in music, energy centers, and other colors beyond the perceptible range. However, the number 7 denotes what? The perceptible range in which human existence has its mundane, typical of this world, is circular manifestation. I mean, it goes around. 7 times 7. Now, I'm going to read this the way it is. This ain't me. I know this ain't something's wrong here, but I'm gonna do this. I've been avoiding this because I had to come here. 7 times 7 gives us what? Not 42. The number of ancient Egyptian gnomes in primordial settlements. And it was 42 gnomes, but 7 times 7 ain't 42, which gave rise to what? Ancient Egyptian, what? 42, as related to the number of main precepts, which is my philosophy. Understand that. But it's 7 times 6, that's 7. Here you go to number 6. Now 7 times 6 takes us to Maya. But let's do 6 right quick. The number 6 was regarded as Pythagoras, an initiate of what? The Kemetic mysteries. When I studied Greek philosophy back in 1975 to 1985, 10 years, they never mentioned going into Egypt. They just said Egyptian was called burnt face, the people with the dark face. Okay, but they never told me they was educated by the Egyptians. So I got a problem with them. And that's the reason why. Moving on. So he went and was initiated in Kemetic mystery and went home and became famous. Now, as the number of full manifestation, really, the limit number. Wow. This idea is seen in what? Music as the number 6 being what? The limiting factor of harmonies. Okay. I don't know nothing about music. And there are only 6 harmonies in music. I didn't know that. So again, ignorant to that, but let's go on. Thus, Asar, who symbolizes the soul, I know about that, is fullness of manifestation of the spirit in what? Time and space, in the flesh, in the form of individual sparks of life that give rise to human beings. Again, the spirit that's in us, that's life. Put another way, watch this. Each human being is that ocean as an individual. Therefore, the number 6 relates to what? I have no idea because that's what it stops at. But personally, 6 is my personal favorite number. And I used to dance. My name was Throbbing Hood. Another, no, that may be too much information. Let me start right there. But 6 is my favorite number. The reason being, I played football, basketball, and I wrestled or ran track. So I had a number 6 in every sport. 3-letter man, 3-6. Make that real clear. Let's talk about number 4 right quick. The number 4 is the number of creation, which represents Geb, is the God of the earth. Thus, prayers are offered in what? Fourfold manner. I can get with the fourfold manner praying. I can't get with that a bunch of times a day nonsense. No, I'm just saying. So, but the 4 cardinal points on the compass, you pray north, east, west. Okay. This practice thereby fills creation with the utterance and their vibrations, getting closer to God. Prayer is always a good thing. Number 3, from the 7, we are reduced to what? The number 3. The number 3 of the cosmic trinity, Atum, Amun, Ra, Patel. the Trinity of gods. Ammon and Thebes, Ra and Anu, Ptah and Waset. That's it, in Memphis, excuse me. And at Heliopolis, excuse me. But at the creation of the Trinity, you got Khepri, Ra, Tim. That's Khepri, sunrise, Ra, Hanun, Tim, sunset. The Trinity relates to what? The modes of consciousness. Again, seer, seen, and sight, or subject, object, and interaction, medium, and the modes of matter, harmonious, agitated, or sedimentary. You got three aspects of everything that's going on. And these principles, watch this, govern the manifestation of consciousness as it differentiates into what? The various forms referred to as matter. Further, the number three relates to father, mother, and child. The Trinity. Osiris, Isis, and Horus. Past, present, and future. And in space, you have length, height, and width. Again, measurements. Thus, in Kemetic religious practice, prayers are offered thrice. There you go. Daily, morning, midday, and evening. There you go. In musical philosophy, the number three is the number of manifestation. No more than three notes can be combined to make consonants. This means that even though there may be a duality present, self and other, all you have is a unison of what? Two, which is essentially equal to the original one. There still cannot be manifestation unless a third principle is present. In essence, the interaction medium between the two aspects of duality. That's why you got the share and the two things going up. The Trinity is always there. Let's go number two right quick. I'm going to take you home. From the number three, we are further reduced to the number two, symbolizing what? Duality. Maya. In Kemetic philosophy, this number is referred to as the two things that come into being in this land. The number one relates to non-duality. In Kemetic philosophy, this number is related to the first time or beginning of creation, aka the Big Bang, referred to as the era before two things had come into being in this land. Duality relates to what? The opposites of creation. Up, down, here, there, male, female, yin, yang, etc. You get it? Maya. 1 and 10. 1 creation, 10 is completion. The number 1 is genderless and transcendental. In essence, all numbers are emanations from the number 1. Everything comes from the 1. All right. Now, they are reflections of 1 in time and space, but the reflection is modified and conditioned. The divine whole numbers are the clearest reflection of the basic principles of creation. The number 100, 1,000, 1,000,000 are related to the number 10 and 10 to 1. Therefore, all creation and its infinite manifestation and vast qualities, as well as its vast fractions, can be studied through the numbers from 1 to 10. On that note, here we go. Then you got the numbers are 1 and 10 have special relationships. Actually, they are what? Reflections of each other. 10 is the reflection of 1. Watch this. Therefore, the Bible says human beings are made in God's image, with the understanding that Kemetic philosophy, the higher truth within Christianity religion, becomes manifest. Haru is the Kemetic prototype for who? Christ. Told you. In Christianity, he symbolizes perfection in life, which is reached by what? Living a life, here we go, of truth, righteousness, virtue, and essence, upholding Maya. Sound like right in philosophy to me. That's just what it is. Now, in the temple of Haru in Egypt, city of Edfu, the sanctuary, aka the Holy of Holies, is encircled by what? A corridor, and it has 10 chapels. Another lesson. In the same temple, Haru, there are reliefs in which Haru can be seen, what? harpooning set with what? 10 times. Set number 8 is the principle, here we go, of egoism and unrighteousness in the human personality, which must be what? Subdued, supplemented in order to what? Attain higher consciousness, in essence, to discover the higher mysteries of the other numbers and thereby attain spiritual enlightenment, discovering the Supreme Being as the support and the essence of creation. 10 is the number of completeness. Again, since one cannot count beyond it without combining other numbers, however, the number 1 is undivided and all-encompassing. It is thus absolute and infinite. Therefore, creation exists what? Between 1 and 10, as the characters of the Paute are in reality what? Aspects of the human consciousness and character, personality. And the highest goal of all human beings, right thinkers, is to what? Attain the number 10, in essence, to become Haru, or in other terms, to attain Horacehood and thereby reflect fully the glory of the divine within yourself. Thus, the number 1 symbolizes the transcendental, in essence, the absolute. And the number 10 symbolizes perfection in what? The water, time, and space in which you can manifest for yourself. Thus, the task, here we go, of every right thinker, aka human beings, is what? Is to discover the absolute transcendental nature, Ra, and to become what? Masters of your life, like who? Haru, and yours truly. In other words, the destiny of every human being is to discover their spirit nature and thus allow that nature to rule over the lower self, aka the ego, ignorance, and vice. You want to become Haru. That's what right thinking philosophy trying to get you to do. That's my job. That's my mission. I'm gonna keep on it until you get it. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Hope you got it. I got more. I'm out.